Welcome back to my channel. For all of you who don't know me, my name's Jay, and today we are going over my top 5 mods and mod recommendations if you own a base RSX. Now these can also fall under the Type S category also, so you can do the same mods for a Type S as well. But for base specifically, these are my top 5 mods. I'm going to start from number 5. So number 5 for me, I would suggest is a brake upgrade. Now, when it comes to the brake upgrade, let's say you want to go Brembos. I have Brembos. But what most people who own a base RSX don't know is you cannot just slap Brembo brakes on an RSX, let alone a big brake kit. The Willwood big brake kit you probably could, but not a Brembo big brake kit. And the reason being is the master cylinder and the brake booster cannot handle the size of those brakes. So you gotta upgrade that to either the Type S or the Type R one. I upgraded mine to the Type R1. The Type R1 and the Type S1 are the same exact ones. So you can use either or. But I had to upgrade it. If you do not upgrade it and you put Brembos on, the Brembos are going to feel very spongy and you're not going to get the stopping power that you should get. So that's number 5. Number 4, I would suggest is K-Tuner or K-Pro. And the reason why I say it's number 4 is because obviously we're going to get into more things on 3, 2, and 1. So I would suggest a K-Tuner or K-Pro as number 4. I have K-Tuner. Now if I had to choose again between K-Tuner and K-Pro, I'd probably choose K-Pro. K-Tuner's base map for a base RSX, if you have an 0506, it's convenient because you don't have to do the oxygen sensor upgrade for the the oxygen sensor. I believe you have to change the primary oxygen sensor to get K-Pro for the 0506. And there was something else you have to change for the K-Pro to work on a 0506. Oh, you have to get the conversion harness for the ECU. So I went with K-Tuner because it's just send the computer, they chip it, you get it back, and you're done. But K-Tuner only has a reflash for the base RSX ECU. It doesn't have like an intake header and exhaust map on file, so you would have to get it tuned. So that's my number 4. Number 3, I would say, is a nice header and exhaust. Now I have the K-tuned race header and exhaust. Now here's something that you need to know about the race header for K-tuned and the exhaust. You cannot get a K-tuned exhaust without having the K-tuned race header or any type of race header from a Type S. If you own a base RSX, you cannot bolt up a Type S exhaust. It will not work. It will not bolt up. Okay? You cannot put a Type S header on your car without putting a Type S exhaust. It won't work. It won't bolt up. If you put a Type S header, race header, and you put a stock base RSX exhaust, your exhaust is going to be even longer. So you don't want to do that. If you put an exhaust on a base Type S exhaust on a base header, it's going to be shorter. So you don't want to do that. You have to get full Type S. So full Type S race header, full Type S exhaust. Number 2, I would say intake. Okay, now intake for me is, I don't like short ram intakes. Let me explain why I don't like short ram intakes. Matter of fact, I'll show you why I don't like short ram intakes. Okay, so my intake connects here, okay? And it goes down underneath all the way to there. Now this is a filter, so this doesn't absorb any water. Now when you have a short ram intake, what happens is the intake now goes from here to here. There you go, from here to here. Reason I don't like that is because what is right there? Your headers. Okay? So because your headers are going to be sitting right there, what happens is now you have the filter sitting right here, and all the heat from that header is going to go right into that filter because the filter is trying to suck up air. So I don't like short ram intakes. I've had short ram intakes. I have felt a complete difference from a short ram intake and a cold air intake. So my suggestion, get a cold air intake, get that filter so that way it doesn't absorb any water. And don't get me wrong, if you submerge that thing in water, you're going to get water in it. I cannot see that filter down there, or should I say that hydro shield, and that's what it's called, a hydro shield. If you're completely in a huge puddle, I mean, it may just choke the motor and it just shut off, and then you might get lucky and it'll turn back on because it didn't absorb water, but I don't know. I haven't tested it and I don't want to. So my number one thing to suggest for the base RSX, I would say a nice intake manifold. That's what I would suggest. This plastic manifold, if that's your turbo in the car, because this car, the base RSX is actually really good for turbo because it has low compression rate. If I had to do that again, I would have did the intake manifold, the intake, the header, get K-tuned, and then everything would have been flowing perfectly. Now, I kept this kind of away from the basic stuff of, oh, wheels, tires, suspension. Everyone knows that they're going to want wheels, tires, and suspension. That's just how it is. My first 5 upgrades on this car was one, actually the Type R rear spoiler that I had on. I bought that first. Then I bought the intake. After I bought the intake, I bought the D2 coilovers. Then I bought the wheels. Then I bought the headers. Then I bought the exhaust. And then eventually, after I did the paint and all this other stuff, I eventually got K-tuner. So I was running it intake, header, and exhaust without K-tuner for a long time, and it ran perfectly fine. So I'm not saying you need K-tuner or K-Pro, but when you want things to run perfect or get a little more power out of the things you put into it, I definitely suggest you do that. Now, me personally, I love my base RSX. I do. I love my base RSX. It's not a race car. Obviously, it's a base. It's not a race car. I didn't buy it to be a race car. I bought it to enjoy it. Now, if you're looking to purchase a base RSX or any RSX, well, it's either going to be a base or a Type S. But if you're looking to purchase a base RSX, get a stick shift. Just get it in a stick shift. Don't bother getting in an automatic because then you're going to want to convert it to stick shift. That's just how it is. But hey, listen, if you got an automatic, that's what you can afford. That's what you can find. It had low miles. Whatever floats your boat. To each his own. I don't knock it at all. So that's my suggestion on what you guys should do. I'm going to show you what's going on here right now. So my last video, I put in the Dev Sport. Last video, I put in the brain fart. Strut King. Brain fart again. Strut King pedals. So I had put in the Strut King pedals. Now, the Strut King pedals, as you can see here, don't have rubber pieces. So I found these little rubber pieces on eBay, but I'm having a hard time squeezing them in. But they look like they'll fit good. I got a 10 millimeter. So I think I'm going to try the 8 or 9 millimeter ones to see if they fit. So once I figure out exactly which one of these little small things, focus, come on. There we go. So once I find out which one of these little small things fit, back to me, I will give you guys an update if you want to buy them and put them in your pedals. So that's pretty much what's going on. I want to show you guys I removed all of that extra weight. So that I'm going to actually measure to tell you guys how much weight I took off of the motor. I also put in my mesh to protect the radiator. So once this is actually with the bumper on, you don't really see it very much. So that came out good. Right now I'm trying to put this custom top one splitter on. Oh, it's gonna look so good. So good. It's gonna look so good. So good. So good. And once that gets put on, I'll keep you guys posted. So my next video that I'm going to do is going to be my 5 favorite mods on my car. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it.